With regard to the 12 cell salts, which are the principal agents of activity in the human body, let us note the interesting relation that they are said to bear to the signs of the zodiac. Aries, the ram, the brain worker, uses up very much of the potassium phosphate, which nourishes the brain fluid and produces the highest rate of vibration in the body. A deficiency causes brain fag and lack of comprehension. Brain fag is kind of like, think of like foggy brain. Taurus, the bull, ruling the liver, governs the cell salt sulfate of sodium, which eliminates excess water from the body due to the abundant intake of the luxury-loving taurian. A deficiency of this salt causes such ills as diabetes and quinsy. Not too sure what quinsy is. I'll have to look that up. Gemini, the twins, ruling the nervous system, governs the cell salt potassium chloride, which forms fibrin in the blood and so builds the nerves, while a deficiency causes thickening of the fibrin and therefore bronchitis, asthma, and other nervous diseases result. Cancer, the tenacious crab, rules the spleen and governs the salt fluoride of lime, which builds the tenacious elastic fibers holding the body together. A deficiency of this causes sagging throughout the organs, with many attendant ills, from depression to dropsy. I think dropsy is like when body parts start sagging, right? It's like a breakdown at the tissue. That's pretty wild. Okay, Leo, the sun, ruler of the heart and vitality, governs the salt phosphate of magnesia, which relates and regulates the muscular spasms such as those controlling the heartbeats. A deficiency causes cramps, lack of muscular force, palpitations, and meningitis. Virgo, ruler of the solar plexus and stomach, governs the salt potassium sulfate, which makes the oil necessary to keep the machinery going throughout the body. A deficiency causes thickening of the oil, which clogs the pores and produces various forms of stagnation. Libra, the balance, ruler of the kidneys, governs the cell salt carbonate of sodium, that's baking soda. This salt holds the balance between the acids and the fluids in the system and produces harmonious life. A deficiency engenders acidity with hate, jealousy, depression, and their attendant ailments such as headache and lumbago. Scorpio, the scorpion, ruler of the sex organs, governs the cell salt sulfate of lime. This needs to be transmuted by the water to form the white plaster of Paris. This strengthens the whole system and gives tone to the gray matter of the brain. A deficiency demoralizes the brain, destroying the power of elevated thought, and renders the body prone to infectious disease. Sagittarius, the archer, rules the thighs and governs the cell salt silica, which is really quartz. This is formed of strong, minute, arrow-shaped pieces, which stiffen the walls of hair, nails, nerve sheaths and cells, and pierce a way outward to the surface for necessary eruptions. A deficiency produces weakness of the cell walls, leading to various forms of self-poisoning, such as rheumatism and other inflammations. Capricorn, the goat, rules the bones and governs the cell salt calcium phosphate. This uses albumin to make cement for bones. A deficiency causes disease due to the overflow of albumin, which upsets the gastric juices and brings on such afflictions as Bright's disease and other digestive troubles. Aquarius, the water carrier, rules the white corpuscles and governs the cell salt sodium chloride, which acts as a water carrier to the human system. A deficiency causes general fertility and such diseases like jaundice. Pisces, the fish, rules the feet, the foundation of the body, and the red corpuscles, and governs the cell salt phosphate of iron, which is the foundation of the blood. A deficiency gives bad circulations, chills, and fevers. Here then, we have a rough idea as to how the planetary rays are said to affect the chemicals within us and our own reactions. Must research work along these lines by certain of the biochemists and other scientists is in progress at present. Naturally, the reactions of the cell salts overlap and interplay with great complexity, and the science would appear to be a deep one. How much truth there is in all this, and how much study it would take to produce useful results, are questions which we must leave to the student who feels disposed to investigate. We cannot leave the science of astrology without applying the micro-macrocosmic law to it and observing how it works on the larger scale. According to its findings, then, our own sun with its planets in its turning, revolving round a parent sun. The signs of the zodiac repeat themselves in still a greater cycle, during which our sun takes about 2,500 years to pass through each sign. But as this greater movement is in the opposite direction from the smaller one, the signs follow one another in reverse order. Each of these great periods is called an age. During 2,000 years of the Jewish dispensation, the sun was passing through Aries the ram, which every animal figures very largely in sacrifice and symbol of time. Before that period, there was the age of Taurus, wherein the winged bull, representing the Taurian capacity for rising to spiritual heights, was worshipped and sculpted by such people as the Chaldeans and the Assyrians. The Sphinx would appear in this light to have been built during the age of Leo, somewhere before 10,000 BC, as it has a lion's body. I think we're learning some brand new stuff about that. Keep in mind, guys, this book is 90-year-old information, right? Following the Jewish came the Christian dispensation, under the sign of Pisces, the fish. The fish is the symbol of Christianity, and some of us are required to eat it on Friday. Who's making the rules here? I have to tell my friends on Facebook that I haven't eaten anything with eyes for over a decade now, and they go, well, you eat fish, don't you? And it's like, no, I don't eat anything with eyes. And then somebody says, well, what about a potato? Look, I take no arrogant stand on whether someone chooses to be a vegetarian or not. And actually, for the self-righteous vegetarian out there, they say that when we cook the plant, it's the same energetic release as when the blood is drained from an animal. So, guys, make your own choices, and you know what? Accept them and be fine with them. You don't need anyone to tell you what you can and can't do. All right, let's get right back to this. We just have a little more. When were they telling me to do what I had to do? Isn't that funny? My eyes don't even want to acknowledge it. Let's talk about the Aquarian age, where the waters of life will be poured out on all mankind. During this period, we are told that universal brotherhood would become an accomplished fact, and a golden age would be brought to birth. According to these calculations, then, it must be about 34,000 years since the previous Aquarian period, containing also a golden age. Historians who study this particular question proclaim that this took place on the lost continent of Atlantis, whose submergence caused the spread of its culture to other lands. There have been several hundred books written on Atlantis, many founded on geological and biological research. The subject is one which is apt to stir racial memory and enlarge man's viewpoint. It enables him to understand the inevitable succession of cycles, and therefore to prepare, hopefully, at this time, for the golden age which is promised to us soon by the shorthand in the skies. This woman was cool, wasn't she?